You think self-abandonment starts when you say yes to something that you actually want to say no to. But that's not actually where it starts. Your body uses the tool called interoception to sense out what's going on milliseconds before your brain even registers. Interoception actually notices before your brain even gets a chance to interpret the situation and process what's going on. Maybe you've had this happen before. Everybody's talking at lunch about where they want to go to lunch, and you're sitting there listening, and you don't really care. So you're willing to go down the street to the chicken place, or maybe go grab a sandwich over here where Bethany wants to go. You really don't care. But then as you're driving and you're on the way there just to go meet everybody for lunch, you're thinking, why didn't I mention this other place I went to the other day? Like, the girls would love it. They really would have loved to have gone. Why didn't I say anything in the moment? There is actually a micro moment when you're in the middle of conversations like this that you're missing. It's a knee jerk self abandonment reflex going on that those of us that are good hearted people might have accidentally internalized. There's actually a micro moment you're missing. There is a knee jerk self abandonment response going on, and it keeps you numb and disassociated from what your body is signaling to you in that moment. I'm Anne. I'm a licensed mental health clinician. I'm also a certified coach, and I help those looking for clarity in their relationships. After learning how to reconnect to myself and get clarity in my own life and in the relationships I was in, I became a licensed mental health clinician and also a certified coach. I like to find the best tools that work for people in order to also help you get clarity in what's going on in your world and in your relationships. After working with hundreds of good hearted, insightful women, I realized that they think the first moment they notice they self abandon is in the thoughts afterward. It's the thoughts like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or why didn't I say anything? The things like, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I just need better boundaries. How do I hold these boundaries? But the thoughts are not the first clue of self abandonment. And actually, many of the women that I work with don't even get the thoughts that come afterward. That's actually a second phase of reconnecting to yourself. There's a knee jerk reaction, a self abandonment loop going on that numbs you to what is happening, that micro moment clue of yourself trying to get through to you. Very first clue of self abandonment comes from your body itself. It has the ability of interoception, of sensing out and noticing what's going on about with the world around you before your brain gets a chance to even internalize it and make a story out of it and to make meaning from it. Your body is giving you sensations and impulses and quickening of the heart rate, things that clue you in to something you need to notice about you, something about you in that moment. And for the women that I work with, and I went through this little pothole myself when I was reconnecting to myself, once you start noticing your body more and noticing these sensations, a lot of times it's interpreted as, there's my anxiety again. There's my depression again. I just need to figure out a better way to deal with this anxiety. It just always is getting in the way. And that's actually kind of like a red herring. It's actually noticing correctly that there's sensations, something going on, but the meaning about it is not hitting the mark exactly. The reading of the tea leaves, if you will, is off. And I'm going to get more into this pothole moment that can happen that can really throw women off and they're just feel like they're lost again in just a second. But before that, I want to go into a few of the clues of what self-abandonment feels like in the body in real time. So it can feel different for everybody, right? And it really depends on the situation and who you're around. But some common things that I notice for myself and for the women I work with are things like their chest gets tight, right? Or like a heaviness is on top. There is a pit, a knot in the stomach that you notice. The shoulders being tight and kind of squinched up around your ears, and then also breathing. Not necessarily like quick breathing, but holding your breath. Like you are just, your body is tight. There's going to be some kind of tightness, some kind of heaviness, and that is your clue. That is your clue. There's something else going on underneath that you're not aware of, or maybe you're aware of it, but don't exactly know how to interpret. One other thing, this is one of the easiest ways to see if you are someone that chronically self-abandons. Are you scanning other people and looking for their experience in the moment? Like, what do they think about this? How are they feeling about this? Jennifer kind of looked down a little bit. Oh, Brittany sure got quiet. That's not like her. She loves the sandwich place. What's going on there? If you are externally trying to understand everybody else before you notice yourself, you're self-abandoning. Obviously, we include other people in our evaluation and our analysis of life. The difference here is that you are last on the totem pole, if at all. Something to keep in mind about the body sensations is that they will happen micro moments before your brain makes meaning out of them. It could be something like, let's say everybody's, like, hey, where we want to go to lunch, blah, blah, blah. And you start to notice your body and you notice you get a little tight in your chest. And that is where we want to pause on the interpretation of what that means and notice. That is what we want to do. There is a shift you can make today that will help you get more insight into what your body's saying to you in the moment. The shift is not how do I stop people pleasing, or how do I stop self-abandoning, or how do I have better boundaries. That's not the shift. The step that you can do today is, what was my body saying to me? What was the sensation? You don't have to make meaning from it, but there was a tightness in my chest. There was a knot in my stomach. Why was that? Why was that? Because I really don't mind that sandwich place down the street. Why was there a knot? Oh, I was worried about needing to carpool, which I did not want to do. Oh, that's what that meant. Taking time to notice the sensations, even after the moment, going back and what was my body saying to me in that moment. So change and identity level change is not about forcing our body to comply, like arm wrestling it to not have anxiety, right? Or making it hold these boundaries. It's about working with the sensations our body is saying, understanding what they mean. If you have found yourself self-abandoning, contemplating everybody else before yourself, 9 out of 10 times, the meaning from the sensations in your body are also being interpreted through a lens of self-abandonment. We'll get into that at another time about how do you then look at the meaning that your body is telling you. It's about noticing the sensations in your body in real time and allowing them to be there without judgment. And then we can make meaning from that later, or we can start to gather a body of evidence to make meaning from this. I am so curious if you have found yourself self-abandoning, scanning the everybody else before yourself, scanning the environment, looking to see what everybody else thinks about something. I am so curious If you know what I'm talking about, where you're in the middle of a conversation and you go along with something, and then later you're going to yourself, why didn't I say something? I mean, it's not like Jim cares whether I wanted to pick, the white Gatorade or the blue Gatorade. Why can I never pick for myself? Why is it such a struggle? I'm so curious if you'll put in the comments maybe sensations you notice in your body. If you do notice them, it can take time to even get to that point to be real. Let me know if you do, or even if you don't notice them. I would love to hear this. And thank you so much for letting me be on this journey with you today.